BRUMBLETIDE and the Daughter of Eve, Chapter 1, Take Me to Batch. Narrated by me, Maggie. We Pruitts enjoy the finer things in life. Tonight, for instance, we are dining in the living room by the light of a horror flick Dad's wanted to see. We are enjoying a delicious meal of chickenless nuggets, mac and cheese products, and cubed vegetables. Mum's specialty is frozen dinner, so believe it or not, we have them most nights. Dad is seated on his throne, the recliner. His scruffy head hangs over 2 dinner trays. Mum is on her lounge, aka sofa, chatting away to the side of Dad's head as always. It is important to discuss the affairs of the day with our leader. Sadie and Gary are on the verge of separation, Guy. I just know it. She's gained at least 20 pounds, and Gary is always down at Lazy Jug. Probably goes 4 nights a week. He's got a problem with the bottle, but you didn't hear it from me. For Pete's sake, it's not like she's giving him any reason to hang around. Dad doesn't break his stare from the TV. Incredible focus. Mum keeps blabbing into the air. My mother, the picture of perfection. How will I ever fill her shoes? It is true that in middle age, my dear mother has kept thin, but don't let her fool you for a minute. It's taken countless packs of cigarettes and the sacrifice of consuming actual food to maintain her figure. My brother Wes and I are sitting on the floor, as always, during dinner. A shrill scream shocks my attention to the movie, and I almost choke on my nugget. Wes's eyes are glued to the TV as he nervously inhales his food. What kind of movie is this anyway? There is a boy who seems pretty normal, but everyone around him ends up dying a terrible death. The scream came from his babysitter. She slipped on some water in the kitchen and fell onto the scissors she was using to clip a stray thread on his shirt. Goosebumps speckle my arms. Gosh, usually Dad's horror flicks are too ridiculous to be scary. Men in masks or zombies chasing their slow and stupid victims. But something about this one creeps me out. There's something different about it. I can't put my finger on it, so unfortunately for me, I keep watching all the way through dinner, and by the end, am afraid at the thought of going to bed in the dark. After dinner, Mum's cleaning the kitchen while gossiping on the phone. Did I say gossiping? I meant informing. Her curly red bun bobs around the kitchen as she painstakingly wipes the counter, informing Sadie of the goings-on of our small town, Little Ipswich. I stand in the doorframe waiting for Mum to get off the phone. The last thing I want to do is ask her about the movie, but my curiosity has gotten the best of me, and here I am. See, amongst her many qualities, my mother is quite the enthusiast, an expert storyteller. She has a particular way of breaking news. One might call it exaggerating. For instance, when I reached a certain milestone earlier this year and thought I was dying because she had surprisingly forgotten to mention that this would occur around the age of 12. She may as well have thrown a Maggie's Becoming a Woman party and used panty liners and tampons as decor. Mum's style of parenting is pretty unique. She feels it best to groom independence into her children from a young age, and does this by giving as much space as a child could have without it being illegal. No rules, no boundaries, no heart-to-hearts. We are free to do as we please as long as we make it to school and back each day. This works best for Mum, leaving her plenty of time to wake up mid-morning to watch Wake Up Little Ipswich, browse social media throughout the day, and catch a few soap operas before she needs to heat the frozen dinners. Sadie, I don't know what's gotten into her. She says she wants to lose weight, but I saw her coming home with a box of donuts the other day. She thought she was hiding them in a paper bag, but I saw her eating them as she walked into her house. The cow couldn't even wait until she was inside. She's probably up 40 pounds now. I know, someone's got to tell her, but it's not going to be me. What do you mean, why was I spying out the window? I would never. I just happened to see her as I was washing the blinds. Is that Gary I hear? What a gem. I was just telling Guy if there is one couple who is sure to make it for the long haul, it is Sadie and Gary. Bye now. Mum throws the rag into a bin in the laundry room. picks a cigarette out of the pack in her purse, and heads to the recliner. The reason she wipes the clean counters for so long is to give Dad time to get in bed so that she has the TV all to herself. Hey, Mom, make it quick. You know my show's on in a few minutes. What was that movie you guys were watching about? Mum huffs, but then grins. My stomach twists. In case you weren't able to read between the lines of my sarcasm, my mother is a selfish, lazy gossip who strangely finds joy in the misery of others. By the twinkle in her eye, I know that what she is about to tell me is something horrible, because horrible is her favorite kind of news to deliver. Yes, dear, she is sickening sweet. That particular movie happens to be based on a real prophecy from Pippin's puzzle. She eyes me for any hint of fear. I refuse to give it to her, even though I'm definitely on edge. We aren't batchgoers, but some of the families in the neighborhood are. I know that Pippin's Puzzle is a book about someone named, well, Pippin. The book is highly respected even by non-batchgoers. We've learned about Pippin's Puzzle at school, and I've gathered bits and pieces over the years about a gathering called Batch held at Emily. Little Ipswich is an otherwise average small town except for Emily, an enormous stone castle set afloat in the Lux Sea that borders us. While I've never been, I know that anyone can go to Batch, and it also has its own school inside that one of our neighbors, Atticus Peabody, attends. The prophecy is true, Mags, Mum says urgently. I know. I didn't know. It's from the 21st book of Pippin's Puzzle. It tells of how one day life here in Little Ipswich will end. She pauses, waiting for my reaction. What mother does this? There will be 7 years of unspeakable anguish for all who live here at the time. Her eyes narrow and her voice is melancholy. Dark times indeed. Hold on, let me find it. Her wispy body is up onto the counter with the quickness of a squirrel chased up a tree. I grow queasier by the moment. Not only does she have a chance to scare the poo out of me, but now has a real prophecy to work with. I want to say never mind, but aside from the fact that it's too late, my mother has already started her show. Unfortunately for me again, my interest is piqued. Life in Little Ipswich will end? What? I'm a moth drawn to a flame, and I have to know what this prophecy is all about, no matter how painful it may be hearing it from Mum. Maybe Wes will let me sleep with him tonight. Mum opens a small cabinet over the stove and takes out a dusty copy of Pippin's Puzzle. I had no idea we even owned a copy. She flips to the back of the book, her bun flicks back and forth, and her long nose acts as a pointer as she scans the pages. Ah, here it is. The moon will burn in the lavender sky. At the reveal of the Dark One, the descendants cry. Terror and tragedy, what they've known is no more. Yet in the wake of their sadness, open now is the door. Mum slowly looks up from her words. Her face is long and full of gloom. For 7 years, the Dark One and his followers will make life unbearably difficult for those living in Little Ipswich. However, at some point during this time, Pippin will come and take us to the new world. She actually takes a bow. Unbelievable. The new world? The new world, Brumbletide, she announces dreamily. Brumble what? Brumbletide, dear. The new world where we will all live free from sadness and pain. We? How do we know it's we? We've never been to Batch. Mum shrugs and hops off the counter. She grabs her cigarette and a candy bar from her secret stash in the pantry. Her secret stash is not a secret at all, but just off limits to Wes and me. Got me. Time for Who's That Girl? No more chit-chat. The door swings as she disappears into the living room. Her performance was successful. By now, I'm used to Mum's exaggerations, but regardless, there's still a real prophecy at the base of it all. I'm unable to process everything I've just heard. If this is all true, which I'm sure at least the Pippin's Puzzle prophecy is, why in the world would my parents not be attending Batch? Aren't they afraid of the Dark One and his 7-year reign? Don't they want to go to this Brumble whatever? I blast through the swinging door into the living room where Mum is already lounging in Dad's chair, puffing her cigarette between bites of candy bar. So talented. Why don't you take us to Batch at Emily, Mum? I squeeze, almost breathless. Mom looks at me with such disgust one would think I've just sworn at her. But something sends her off in thought. Could she be considering it? If so, there's something in it for her. Oh, I used to attend when I was younger, before I had you and your brother. Oh, I don't miss those days. You two made my life a living hell when you were babies, you know. Yes, we know. It's only been mentioned a few hundred times or so. Life got busy and I just stopped going. She scrunches her nose coyly. You know your mother had quite the reputation at the castle and my parents used to take me to batch. Let me tell you, those Emily boys almost broke their necks when your mum was around. I was constantly turning them down on dates. I knew I didn't want one of those stiffs for a husband. Of course, I fit right in with that crowd. But it's nice being a big fish in this small pond. I stare blankly at my mother. Maybe she will eventually get around to answering my question. Your dad doesn't even believe in it all. He says that Pippin and BRUMBLETIDE are just a made-up ploy to get us all to pay to keep Emily afloat. But it's all real, you know. All the signs are here that we are the generation that is to experience the 7 dark years. She eyes me, searching for fear. What is wrong with this woman? Chills prickle my spine. Why am I letting her get to me? Now, I'm not only scared, but angry with myself. Calm down. What signs? Mum shrugs and returns to watching a show. It's all in Pippin's puzzle, Mags. Go on now. I've already missed the first 10 minutes because of your mouth. Take me to batch, I blurt. Mum mumbles something under her breath that sounds much like stupid children. All right, just go away. When's the next one? I need set plans. Mum's eyes are as round as medals. I look at my feet, but don't budge. I think I remember Alice Peabody saying there's one this weekend. Now, get! I run upstairs to Wes's room. He's on the bottom bunk of his bed with the curtains closed. Wes, can I sleep in here tonight? Why? Just because. I'm not in the mood to sleep by myself. Because of the movie? No. It scared me. I thought it might have. That's why I thought you would like some company. Thanks, Max. I climb up to the top bunk and nestle into the spaceship covers. For a 9-year-old, Wes is incredibly knowledgeable about space. Our teachers consider both of us gifted for our ages. We began reading books before we started school and each passed the math test for gifted children last year. My teachers are impressed, but like our classmates, Mum isn't impressed in the least. Dad is, but he's too busy working long hours at Ipswich Rubber and Accessories to have any conversation in the evenings, and he's gone before we get up in the morning. I have my alarm set for 4:45 a.m., says Wes. Why in the world? The Venus-Jupiter conjunction will be visible then. Can't miss it. Blimey, try to be quiet. Hey, who's sleeping in whose room? Yeah, good night. Night. The lights are out, but the soft glow of Wes's laptop illuminates his curtain. He always stays up late researching the heavens. Thoughts of doomsday and the dark one are still whirling around in my head, but I can't help feeling excited. I've always wanted to visit Emily Castle. Besides seeing the tops of its towers over the wall that separates Little Ipswich from the Lux, I've only heard stories. Supposedly, the most fantastic and extraordinary things happen there. I can't wait to see for myself.